Two people who are friends, actual friends, inside jokes, shared history, the whole thing are no longer okay. And the reason you walked in, you existed, and something cracked right down the middle of their friendship. You didn't flirt, you didn't try, you didn't even know this was happening until the energy in the room started feeling wrong. Yeah, wrong. Weird glances, too fast laughter, someone saying your name just a little too carefully. And now there is a war, a real one between two people who used to be on the same side, and you are standing in the middle of it, holding nothing but the fact that you showed up. That's what happens when you're the golden sun that just rose after a long, dark winter. Two people who have been living in the cold finally felt your warmth. And instead of sharing it, they started fighting over who gets to stand closest to the light. They forgot that you can't own the sun, and their fight is just proof of how cold their worlds were before you arrived. That's the part nobody talks about, not the love triangle stuff. We have all seen that movie. I'm talking about something deeper, something that happens when the way you carry yourself, the thing you have in you, the energy you radiate without even trying. When that thing hits people who were not prepared for it, when it lands on someone who already promised their loyalty somewhere else, that's not a crush, that's a collision. And you felt it before you understood it. Maybe you noticed it weeks ago. Maybe you were just hanging out in a group, doing absolutely nothing exceptional, laughing at something, saying something real, just being yourself. And you got this look, not from the person you were expecting, from the friend. Yeah, the one who was supposed to be off limits of the table, not even in the conversation. And the look lasted maybe a half a second too long, and then it was gone, and you filed it away under probably nothing. Because honestly, what else do? You do with that. But then it kept happening. Little things, the friend finding reason to be near you, the original person getting quieter, tighter, more distracted, something shifting in the dynamic that you couldn't name, but you could absolutely feel the way you feel a weather change before it's visible, before anyone else has pulled out an umbrella. You felt the pressure dropping, and now the storm is here. Here is what I want you to sit with for a second. You didn't create this by doing something wrong. No, you created this by being something real. And that is a completely different thing. There is a version of you that has been told probably more than once to dial it down. Don't be too much. Don't take up too much space. Don't make it weird. And you have gotten so good at that, at making yourself smaller, quieter, easier to handle, that you genuinely forgot that even your quietness has a presence. Even when you're holding back, something comes through, something that can be manufactured or performed or faked. And that's what started this war. And here's the part that will genuinely blow your mind when you let it land. Your energy right now is functioning like a magnetic force field. You are not strategizing. You are not performing. You are not running some kind of game. You are just existing, and people are being pulled into your orbit like they have no choice in the matter like moth to a flame that they can see is hot, and they are flying toward it anyway. You're not operating on a frequency that their systems were not built to process, and it's causing a complete glitch in their reality. One of them starts acting strange. The other starts acting strange, and you are standing there going, I literally didn't do anything. And you are right, you didn't. The field did field. Let me paint you the picture, because I think you've been living inside it. And sometimes you need someone to describe it from the outside. The friend saw you the way you were supposed to be seen, not the edited version, not the version that apologizes for taking up space. The actual version, the one that laughs without calculating whether it's too loud, The one that says something honest without triple cake, if it's safe. The one that walks into a room and doesn't immediately start shrinking. The friends saw that and something in them went, not all like passing crash. Oh, like recognition, like this is what it's supposed to feel like. This is the real thing. And that, it didn't stay quiet. It got loud. Loud enough to crack everything open. But I need you to understand what's actually happening between these two people, because it's not that, it's not what it looks like on the surface. One of them is coming from ego, pure wounded competitive ego. The part that doesn't even necessarily want you. It just cannot stand the idea of losing. It's not about love. No, it's about winning. It's about the story they get to tell themselves about who they are and what they are capable of holding you. You became the prize in a competition that was always about their own insecurity, not about you at all. The other one, though, is the something darker and more consuming than ego. That's limerence. That's the place where a crush stops being a crush and becomes an obsession, where they have built an entire version of you in their head. Put you on a pedestal so high that the altitude is making them dizzy. And now they are willing to burn down a friendship, a loyalty, a history, just to get a fraction of your attention, not even your actual attention, the idea of it. You didn't do anything to create that, but you need to see it clearly, because limerence isn't love either. It's a mirror pointed inward. And here is where it gets strange, because you thought the tension was about them, but the tension was never really about them. The tension is about you finally being witnessed fully by someone who wasn't expecting it, wasn't bracing for it, wasn't armored against it. And that witnessing, it spread, it becomes visible. And now everyone in that room, even the people who are not directly involved, can feel it. Yeah, they can feel it. The energy changed and you are standing there going, all I did was show up. All I did was by be myself. How is this my fault? It's not your fault. No. But here's what you also need to see. And this is the part that most people miss entirely. The mask is sleeping on both of them. The situation, as uncomfortable as it is, as ugly as it has gotten, was designed to show you exactly who these people are when the pressure is on, when the stakes are real, when something they actually want is on their line, because it's easy to be decent when nothing costs anything. It's easy to be loyal when loyalty isn't being tested. But now you are seeing the true colors. The ego that needs to win the obsession, that's willing to destroy the insecurity that was always there, just waiting for the right pressure point to surface. That is information. This is a gift, actually, even if it doesn't feel like one right now. Think about what that does to a person. You are going through your regular life, your regular friendships, your regular low-grade dissatisfactions. And then you are in a room with someone who is so clearly, effortlessly, genuinely themselves. That is that reorder something in your chest. It makes everything you've been settling for, feel suddenly visible. Not because you were happy before and now you are not. Because you didn't even know you were settling until the contrast showed up, and the contrast has your name on it. And the original person, the one whose reaction started the actual fighting, they are not just reacting to jealousy, they are reacting to regret. And regret is the most violent emotion there is, because it doesn't have anywhere to go. You can't undo the moments you were careless. You can't choose the times you were half there. You can't retroactively show up for something you took for granted. The regret just sits there hot and heavy, and it has to go somewhere, and where it goes toward the friend. Because it's easier to be angry at someone reaching for the thing you didn't protect than to sit with the fact that you were the one who left it unprotected. What you're watching play out between these two people is projection, all of it, because they can't handle the size of what they feel when they are near you. They have turned that heat, that confusion, that frustration on each other. You became the mirror, and the mirror is showing them everything they don't want to look at about themselves. Their neediness, the fear of being alone, the terror of watching something rare walk out of your life while someone else reaches for it. You're not causing their chaos. You're just reflecting it back, period. Their internal war found an external address, and that address is the space between them. I said earlier that this is where it gets strange. Remember that? Here's what I mean. You've been so focused on what's happening between them, the tension, the weird comments, the fights you are hearing about secondhand, that you haven't fully landed on what this is showing you about yourself. This entire situation is a mirror, and the mirror is saying something very specific. It's saying you are not forgettable. You never were the version of you that learned to be small, to be low, maintenance, to not cause a stir. That version was built for survival, not for truth. The truth is what you saw on that friend's face. The truth is what you felt in the room when everything shifted. The truth is that you don't have to try to be irresistible. You just have to be present, really fully unapologetically present. And that's the most terrifying and the most powerful thing I can say to you right now. And here is something else. Notice what isn't happening. Notice that through all of this, the fighting, the tension, the ugly comments, the escalating drama, none of it is actually landing on you. You are in the eye of the storm. And the eye of the storm is the only still place in the whole system. Everything is moving violently around you, and you are somehow mysteriously, okay, that's not an accident. That's not luck. That's what happens when you are genuinely in alignment with who you are. The chaos doesn't have a grip on you because you are not made of the same material as the chaos. You are the sun. You don't get swept up in what the shadows do, because here is what changes everything. The fighting, the tension, the war, all of that is noise. It's real noise. It's uncomfortable noise. And it's absolutely about you. But it's not the point. The point is what's underneath it. The point is that something true got revealed. The friend saw what happens when you stop damning. The other person saw what they risk losing. And you got to watch the whole thing happen and finally understand that you have never once had to earn your own worth. It was there the whole time. They just were not equipped to hold it properly. You walked into that situation carrying something rare. Not rare like expensive or untouchable. Rare like genuine, like the real thing in the world. In a world full of performances. People feel that they can't always name it. They just know when they are near someone who isn't performing, who isn't trying to be impressive or trying to be likable or trying to manage how they are being received. And something in them responds always. Sometimes that response is attraction. Sometimes it's just this quiet, almost aching recognition, like, oh, that's what it's supposed to be. To feel like to be around a person, like excelling for the first time in months. That's what you did to that room. You didn't walk in with an agenda. You didn't flee. You didn't compete. You didn't try to destabilize anything. You just showed up as yourself, the real, unedited, unmanaged version of yourself. And it moved people. It moved them more than they were prepared to be moved. And when people get moved more than they are prepared for, sometimes they don't handle it well. Sometimes they fight. Sometimes they say things they can't unsay. Sometimes a friendship gets cracked down the middle, and it doesn't fully heal. That's not your fault. No, that's not. But I need you to stop treating it like a problem you are supposed to solve. You are not responsible for managing other people's reaction to your presence. You're not responsible for making yourself easier to handle so nobody gets too much of you. You're not responsible for the war. And here is the reframe that I want you to carry with you. This war is actually a karmic clearing. Yeah, karmic clearing. Our beautiful universe, the universe is using this exact situation, this ugly, uncomfortable, too much drama situation to remove from your orbit the people who were never equipped to walk with you into where you are actually going. The towers are falling. Let them fall. What gets cleared out here is making room for something that can't actually hold the weight of who you are. You were radiating something that most people spend their whole lives trying to manufacture and never quite get there. You're not even trying. You're just living, minding your own business, showing up, being real, and you have become the catalyst for an entire war. That is main character energy, not performed, not created, the actual thing. And main character energy doesn't go looking for drama. It just moves through the world, being fully itself. And the drama finds it because drama is always drawn to what's most alive in the room. You didn't start a war by doing something wrong. You started a war by being undeniable. And now you know what that looks like. What it costs other people, what it costs the ones who try to keep you small, and what it feels like to finally see the receipts on your own worth handled to you in the most dramatic way possible. You're not too much. They were underqualified. You're not the problem. You are simply more than the people holding you were prepared to recognize. The one who underestimated you will feel that for a long time. The one who couldn't, took or look away, saw something true, and you get to walk away from this whole thing, knowing something you maybe never fully let yourself believe before, that you have never had to compete to be chosen. You have never had to shrink to be safe. You have never had to earn the right to be exactly who you are. You just have to keep shining. The sun doesn't apologize for the shadows it creates. It just rises every single day. It just rises, and you started a war. Yeah. And you didn't even do anything because you didn't have to. You never did. That was always the whole point